Welcome back. Okay, this is the Catholic Guy Talks About. Today is kind of a touchy subject. I'm going to be talking about, I've already released a video about sext, S-E-C-T-S, and I always have to spell that because people get the wrong idea. And I've already talked about that, but, and I did mention that I believe Judaism, older brother, and then Muslim, the younger brother. Well, I have to say, in this family, it's kind of, that's backwards, It's more of like, Judaism is our grandparent. Not our grandparent, our parent, right? And then we're the offspring. And then, this is where I meant Judaism is the grandparent of, like, Protestantism and Islam. So, that's more accurate. I'm just gonna clarify that right now of what I'm gonna be talking about, because out of Catholicism, Protestantism did come from that, but Islam was kind of the distant cousin. He just came out of nowhere, and no one really knows what he is, but he looks a lot like us, so he has to be related. Have you ever had that cousin that just looks exactly like you? It's like, oh, jeez. Yeah, it's weird. And a lot of Islam teachings and writings is very, very, very similar to Christianity. And, Muhammad, and this is not like proven or anything. This is just my own personal belief of how Islam came to be. And, like, Muhammad started Islam, and, he saw the angel Gabriel, who was very, very famous in the Bible. He appeared to Mary, he appeared to Joseph, he appeared to a lot of people. And Gabriel was like, Jesus is, no, not Jesus, but God's, like, number one guy. He's like, we gotta tell someone something. Gabe, go. There's two others. There's Michael, the defender. He's the warrior. And then Raphael, who is there. You don't hear that much about him, but yeah, he is an archangel. But Gabriel appeared to Muhammad, telling him about this new religion that he wants him to start. And my own personal belief is, in the Middle East at that time, there was no Catholicism. They tried to bring it with the Crusades and everything. Well, that's much, much later. But, Muhammad, there was none. There was no Catholicism there. Everything was, just kind of, like, died down. And Catholicism was huge in Europe at this time. So what I think was, this is my own personal belief, and I think that Gabriel appeared to Muhammad to spread Christianity, because it's so similar. Islam and Catholicism is so, Islam and Christianity, so similar that I believe that that's what Gabriel was doing there. And then, Muhammad as human, that's no fault to him. He, tweaked it a little bit, and that's fine, And and most people are angry at some people are angry at Islam. I don't. As I said, I call them the younger brother. I call them, part of this family, because we all have the monotheism family. And as I said earlier, the distant cousin. There's no hard feelings towards them. They are they're not some. They're really strict, yeah. But yeah, and it's just, it's a way to do it, and I don't know. So Islam is not a bad thing. Don't ever think that, And neither is Protestantism. The only difference between Protestantism and Catholicism is that Catholicism thinks that, we don't think that they're wrong. We just think that we're more right. And I'm gonna get into this too. The thing is with that is that this is now Catholicism and Protestantism. With Protestantism, that actually started with Henry VIII. He said, I'm gonna divorce my wife, and he already had a divorce, and so the Pope said, no, you can't have two divorces. What are you talking about? He really wanted a male heir to the throne, and so he said, well, I'm gonna start my own religion. Aha! and that is the Anglican Church, which is actually the closest sect to Catholicism. Anglicanism, I think that's what it's called. I don't. The Church of England is the closest. It's also called the Episcopalian religion, and it's the closest Protestant religion to Catholicism. And I'm pretty sure the only difference is that Catholicism was started by Jesus Christ, and they were started by Henry VIII of England, and priests can marry. Don't quote me on that, because there's obviously different traditions. Yeah, and the oldest is not really a Protestant, but the oldest schism is the Great East-West Schism, or the Great Schism in 1054, which started the Eastern Orthodox Church, which they actually credit their founding to St. Peter and St. Paul. Mostly St. Paul, because he did a lot of missionary work over there where the Eastern Orthodox was founded. When St. Paul died in AD 68, I believe, which is 986 years before the Great Schism, so I don't think he really founded their church. I just think they credit him. And yeah, they're really close. To be honest, I think the only thing different between us and them is, again, the traditions. Yeah, so, and then, see, and then there's Calvinism. Calvinism is a predestination. That is, by, whatever you do, they believe that, God just knows whether you're going to go into heaven or not from the moment you're born. And it's also money, wealth might sway the hand of God. That's why they spread between merchants and stuff in the Middle Ages. And Calvinism, that's what they believe in. Started by John Calvin. I believe he was Swiss. No, he was where was he from? He's from France. Fled to Switzerland, I think. I don't know. And then Martin Luther was a German monk, a scripture buff. He was often called Doctor of the Bible. Like he had a doctorate in the Bible. Doctorate. And yeah, he was a huge scripture guy. And he believes in, by faith and scripture alone, you are saved. Just if you read the Bible and you believe in it, you're going to heaven. You could shoot a guy and still go to heaven, which is also true. And that's okay, but that's not the full thing. And I'm paraphrasing, of course, but this was originally said by C.S. Lewis, and I believe it was something along the lines of, Christians have often fought over whether, is faith or good works that gets you into heaven. It's as if you're asking which blade of the scissors is more necessary. I believe, of course, paraphrasing completely, and that's by C.S. Lewis in his book Mere Christianity, and which he was Anglican actually. So, yeah. But I love that. Which blade is more necessary? Well, you need both of them in order to get the job done, which is cutting the paper, and so. You need both of them to get into heaven. And that's what I believe. And that's what Catholicism believes in. That's what the Catholic Church believes in, by faith and good works. But they're not wrong. That's the thing. The Protestant faiths are not wrong. Catholicism, we just believe we're more right. And that's it. To be honest, they're not wrong. It's like, it's the difference between lying or telling the whole truth. If you tell bits of the truth, but not the whole thing, like did you eat the bagel? And you say, well, I saw it. I saw the bagel. And when the truth is, if you ate the bagel, this is a horrible example, by the way. Like, I saw the bagel and I ate it, and then someone says, "Did you eat the bagel?" And you don't want to tell them because they wanted it, and you'll say like, "I saw the bagel," and that's not lying because you did see it, but you also ate it. So like there's a difference between. That was a horrible example, but there's a difference between telling the whole truth and bits of it, and there's a difference between. There isn't a difference. I'm not saying they're wrong. We just believe we're more right, and that's basically it. And mostly because we're the only Christian faith. Catholicism is the only faith that can trace their roots back to Jesus himself. As he said, "Peter, you are my rock, and on this rock I shall build my church." Matthew. That's in the book of Matthew. And then, he didn't actually say that. But, yeah, so the foundation of our church, is traced back to Jesus and to the hierarchy of Peter. Peter got his authority from Jesus and passed it to Pope II, all the way, not Pope II, but I forget who the second Pope was, and then all the way to Francis I, who is the current Pope. That's it for me today. No caps, no caps, and no spaces. The Catholic Guy 111 at gmail.com. If any questions, or just leave a question in the comment section. If maybe I'll make a whole video about it. You don't know. Bye.